We're recording.
Okay, so with my markup, what I do, I start off looking at the line charts whenever I'm picking my pair. Right now, we're looking at the British pound US dollar. I start from with my top down analysis, the daily time frame, the line chart. I mark up the recent high, recent low. So that's my resistance and also my support. Um, my recent support would be, I would say about right here. So when I do that, um, narrow it down, come down to a 4 hour time frame, and look to see, okay, what kind of I see, uh, what what's recent, and then kind of going back. So recent have looks like a bullish trend, right?
Mhm.
And then you start to narrow, right? So I take my horizontal line again. This time I find me another support, a good support. So you find a good support, I would say about right here. And let me color that a different color so that way you know within a 4 hour time frame.
Right.
Right.
This is like the Forex stuff.
You can
Yeah,
actually, you
those
should be able
maps.
to, you should, yeah, you should be able to click on it.
There we go.
Yeah, that should
Let's
pop
do
up.
that green.
Yeah, there you go.
Now, usually I know with Paul, you might use, or at least you made notes with the last video you did, as far as this being a 4 hour time frame, that being a daily time frame.
Hmm.
I usually remember what colors goes with what time frame, but
Hmm.
to help out, that you can always make note of what color goes with what time frame.
Right.
So let's just remember that the green is the 4 hour, the blue
Mhm.
is the daily time frame
Right.
Mhm.
for markup. And so when you take a look at that, you start to see pattern. Now it goes up, and you see that okay, this may be another resistance
Hmm. Hmm.
for this right here. It
Hmm.
comes down, kind of bounces off. Now it breaks through right here just to come back and resist right here. See a pattern within this time frame, the 4 hour.
Mhm.
But to narrow
Of
it
the
down
top.
some more,
Hmm.
yeah, exactly. Now I'm at a 1 hour time frame,
Mhm.
Yep.
right?
Hmm.
And you start to see what else out there you can kind of spot and recognize. You see some resistance. I could put that right here, right? And with that, change the color. Let's go with red, right?
Mhm.
And then, I mean, where you find a good amount of support of resistance, or so that's what you can, mark up your chart with. But, with this being a, somewhat a good resistance, I found that it's good to put that there. So we got that as my 1 hour, that's my 4 hour, and the blue as my daily. And we keep all those colors in mind. Now, like I said, you could make a note so that way it's visual. You can see. Now, here's why I started putting my actual graphs, my candles, to kind of see, okay, what's
Mhm.
now. Typically, I like to trade at the 13 minute. So I go from the 1 hour 13 minute. Now you could, break it down somewhere, go to 30 minute if you want to kind of see what else is out there
Mhm.
to kind of get a visual, see what's taking place. Then after you kind of figure that out, go to where time frame was comfortable where you like to trade at. I like to trade at the 13-minute. So therefore, with that said, I like to make things tighter from my charts.
The double top.
So starting, oh yeah, you see it. Yep, you see it.
That thing
So
about to
I
spike
come.
down.
Absolutely, absolutely. So here I really like to look at, okay, this is the, of course, right now Friday and it's after 5 p.m. So the chart, I mean the market has closed down for the public. So where it's left off at, right? Now, what I like to do also is start marking up my thicker lines to make my zone, start to identify zones within my 13-minute. So type of zones I'm talking about is when I come here, let me see. We're at, what's let me see. Where, hey Paul, real quick, where is that the icon that allows you kind of allows you to, like, if you want to make a square, you can, or if you wanted to.
The rectangle?
Yeah, rectangle,
I
square.
believe it's
Where
right
is that?
below the T.
Actually, it's the one above it, above the
I'm
T.
sorry, the one above it. He's right. Yeah. It's the one above it. Now I think about it. I kept on
There we
thinking. I said,
go.
no, it's
Yeah,
not that one, but it is. Yeah. I
yeah,
said I
that's
knew it was
it.
one of them. Yep.
Yeah, man, you can tell it's late. um,
Yeah, I am dreary,
so
but
what
I
I
don't
do
trade that
is
much. Go ahead.
I find my zones. So I make this wide enough, kind of back with some evidence of support. And this is just me. I mean, some people make this a lot more simple, but for me, I found a more simple way to do it. This is how I
Actually,
do
that
it
is
for
a good
me.
way to do it because you're actually trying to identify movement across the board. And that's how you do it, because then you'll understand who's buying and who's selling in the market based off of that. And that's really key, because when you really see like, you notice a little bit on the left there, go a little bit to the left, just a
Over
little
here?
bit. You just passed it. You don't see my cursor. Go a little bit to the right, a little bit more to the right, a little bit more. Stop. Okay, go to a little bit to the left. And I want to show you exactly why. A little bit to the left, a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more. Now kind of lower your mouse. See, this is the reason why the way you're drawing your rectangles and your zone lines is working, because that right there where you have your cursor, that's a pattern right there. That's a reversal pattern, which is the reason why the market went above this purple line, because that purple line acted as support. And notice when it hit resistance, the sellers were done buying. And so it crossed that purple line and it formed this pattern right where Chris's cursor was just at. And it made another pattern that gave you an indication that the sellers was in the market. I mean, not sellers, the buyers. The buyers did at least probably 2 to 3 orders in that pattern. And once they got, and then they did another one, and that's why it's going up again. So, yep, that's good.
Exactly. So, exactly, Paul. Thank you. Um, so, what I'm doing now is make copies of my zones, so that way I can start finding my support and resistance. I'll make copies. I just left click my mouse. No, hold on. Click on it first. Right click, and it says clone, or you press control and drag at the same time. So I'm gonna drag this. Once I get a grip, hold on, man, this thing ain't working. There you go, there we go. Drag it to find my next zone. I'm trying to look for my resistance.
Hey, Chris, quick question.
Yeah.
Your zones now, are you marking them with your major line level, red resistance line? Are you using the line separate from the zones, or are you going to put the zone there as well?
Well, it's separate because that just gives me a broader look. As far as with my green, my red, and my blue, those just give me a bigger outlook of the time zone, the time frames. When your price actually meets those zones.
Mhm.
But my purple is really identifying the 13-minute time frame.
Ah, that's right.
Yeah, and because even though the red is representing the 1 hour and the green is representing 4 and the blue is daily, those are just reminders of the bigger look of the market.
Mm-hmm.
But when you start to down into more of a narrow look, the purple is what I'm looking at to see, so that way I know when to trade, get into a trade and get out, so to speak.
Mm-hmm. Awesome.
Makes sense. So,
Absolutely.
alrighty. So you see, I mean, I'm gonna make some more of my 13 minutes time frame zone, but you kind of see with this pattern where with this, the top one being the resistance and then the bottom being the support, you see it's just bouncing off to come back, bounce off to come back, bounce. So it's kind of like, how I like the example that Paul uses when you throw a ball inside of a a wall
Mm-hmm.
room, an entire room. The ball has basically just up and down and sideways to go, to shrink it down and narrow it down the amount of space it could go, it just bounces. And then sometimes it breaks through. With price action, it'll break through. But
Mm-hmm.
with the example of a ball, it basically bounces till it can't bounce no more. Price action, it'll can't bounce no more, and then it finds a way to break through either the resistance or the support. And then sometimes it finds its way back in within. Let me make another copy of my zone. What just happened? Okay. So control, drag. Find me another support and resistance, a recent one. Let's see. And see that red time frame kind of goes in hand with the 13 frame now, well, as far as my zone. And then I'll make another one. Oops. Whoa.
Gotta love that.
Technology. Yeah, exactly. Technology is something else. Okay. All right, there. Put that on top. Down.
That's some good marking up.
Right there.
Mm-hmm.
And so like, I could always extend it to kind of just get some more, get this price action involved with my zones. But I think this is a good right here, a good basically a what's the word? Evidence
Mm-hmm.
to show how price was moving at one point in time. The price really loves to repeat itself.
Yep.
Oh, here we go. And I think for right now, that's good. So yeah, that's basically how I mark up my chart. Now, what I'll be looking for when the market opens back up is basically where the price action goes. And I extend my zone so that way I could be ready for what's to come in the future for next week. And see patterns taking place within my zone, then that gives me a good indication to hop in a trade. And like I said, there's a simple way to do this, I'm sure. I'm just doing the way that I'm used to doing it. But if someone shows me a better way of doing my zone, then that would be great. So like, if you look at it, price action right here. Let's just say, for example, it come down and it touches my support. Well, I want some confirmation to make sure that, okay, it's going to basically come back up and not keep going down. And if it does come down, will it come back up at the same time? Like, you have to kind of prepare for all of it. And then that's where your risk management comes into play, because price it likes to play games with people.
Mm-hmm.
So like, if you take a look at this example right here. It breaks my zone just to come back down.
Mm-hmm.
It plays games with people.
Yeah.
Just to come back down and touch my support right here.
Mm-hmm.
And then come just to break it again and keep going.
Man, that thing
But you
swung.
see,
That price swung up like Tarzan
man.
on the tree, bro. It's crazy.
Exactly. So, and another thing I forgot, I like to turn on my SMA. That kind of 50 simple moving averages, right?
Yeah.
So it kind of helps me see, okay, the green, of course, when you're above this green, oh man, that is nothing but buys, you're in a bullish market.
Mm-hmm.
But if you see this work in conjunction with my zones, now it crosses over into the red.
Mm-hmm.
And so now you're nothing but bears.
Yeah.
And so if this thing next week, when the market opens back up, comes above and turns green and stays green, I want to watch out for it. That's just like another confirmation. You don't ever want to just trade solely off your indicator unless you're doing something different. But from what I know and what others like professionals, what they say, don't trade off of any alone. Just allow that to be your confirmation.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Chris, could you show me the settings real quick? The SMA?
I'm sorry, you said show you the SMA?
Yeah, could you show me the settings on that real quick?
Yeah, there we go. So really, I think okay. SMA one now it's just 50, right?
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about the others. Those other ones are closed. I mean, are turned off.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so, but what is all? And I got my color green for color 0, red for color 1. Like I said, the other SMA number 2 and so on and so forth are all turned off.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Now, do you know which SMA this is? As far as there's different, I think it looks like different people do like similar or same indicators about different people. Let me go to my indicator.
Yes, think I think it's called Simple Moves Stocks Inbox.
There we go. Yep, that's correct.
All right,
Stocks
cool.
block.
So off. I keep number 1.
Hold on, let me go to it again. Yeah, 50, SMA number 1, style number 1, top is green, bottom is blue, red, here golden.
Thank you, bro.
No problem. Yeah. Well, that's basically how I mark up my charts. And then, other indicators kind of just help out. But yeah, that's about it.
Hmm.
All you want to add?
yeah, if you can zoom out, I want to give just want to throw my little 2 cents. When you really think about it, as soon as GU opens up, the chances of that going to a sell is very high. If you could actually, yeah, that's perfect right there. Yep. The chances of that going into a sell is actually pretty high because that's a double top. Um, Basically, the analogy here is when price shot up, the banks basically bought. They bought right at that pullback. And so you notice at the top here, price hit resistance, went into a sell, right? Because now sellers got into the market. Well, then the banks bought up another order here and then stopped at the top. And then the sellers came through and sold right there. Usually when the pattern goes into a double top or a head and shoulders, it's a reversal pattern. When they say reversal pattern, what that means is that all the way over here, you probably can't see my cursor, but all the way to where this double top was formed, um, it was going into an uptrend, right? Went up, came down, went up, right? Well, it's going to reverse. And I'm 85% sure that when the market opens up for this pair, price is going to drop down because it's a reversal pattern. So you understand these different patterns, continuation patterns, reversal patterns, you're going to have an idea of exactly where the market is going to go next and if it's going to break your trend line or not. And when it breaks your trend line, you're going to have a perfect entry because price is going to retest after it breaks that trend line and go that direction. I marked up, I believe it was this morning, I marked up, let me look at my MetaTrader 4 because I believe I profited from that trade. I marked up.
If you want, you can go and share your screen, and I'll take mine off.
Okay, sure. Um, so Can you guys see my screen?
Yeah.
So I'm going to use, let's go to GU. I'm going to use the same exact thing Chris was talking about. I haven't marked it up. I'm going to mark it up very close to what time frame was that, Chris? Do you know? Well, this is kind of here, right here. Yep, this is perfect.
Oh, that was 13-minute, but you can use 15-minute if you want.
So this is right here, and I'm going to show you, and I put this on a training website that I made. You remember this training website? I made it for our network now, but I still got the one from Tradera. So I have a spot where it says market structure. I found all these pictures of different patterns from Max's Facebook group and some other areas, and I put it on here. So these are the different patterns you want to actually look at, and I highly recommend it because it lets you know reversal patterns, it lets you know continuation patterns, etc. You're going to find these patterns consistently in the market. So when Chris marked up his chart here, right? So we're going to actually just put the neckline here, all right? And I'm going to make this, I'll just say this is really the 15-minute, but I'm just going to go ahead and just say the hourly since it's the closest, all right? So we have the trend, we have the neckline here. So like Chris mentioned, you had a lot of resistance here. So ironically here, it went into an uptrend because even when you look at this pattern here, you notice this pattern here, it went up, it broke this, went down, hit a lot of resistance, and then spiked back up, right? So notice this here. It hit once, hit twice, and hit a third time. All right. So that's this pattern right here, the inverse head and shoulders. So it lets you know that, hey, when this happens, the market is going to crush through the neckline and go straight up. Well, let me ask you guys a question. When you look at this pattern, did price break that trend line and go up? And before you answer, I'm going to pull right here. When you look at this pattern, like with the inverse head and shoulders, what exactly did price do?
Broke the neckline and retested it.
Retested it and it went up, right? It went up just like it said it would go. It's going to break this entry target. So if you had traded this and put in a buy, let's say you had started right here. You know, you could have started right here. You would have caught a lot of pips, even after it broke this trend line. Went in, retested, right? So now, when we look at this here, this is the head and shoulders. How we know? No. Actually, I'll take that back. This is the double top. How do we know? It hits resistance twice. Comes down, hits it again, and then, right? So now, look at this here, right? Do you see a double top here?
Absolutely. Big one.
So let's pull the neck top up to here, right? Let's just pull it up to here. Let's just be realistic, right? Is price, so we know with the double top, and it said price is going to reverse and shoot straight back down, right? Do you see that happening here? Do you see a possibility of that happening here? What are you guys' take on that?
You have the neckline, Paul. I see it. We're testing that to the downside.
Bam.
That's what I see.
Well, what do you think, Chris? What is your thoughts on that? I think his other side went out.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. What are your thoughts on that, Chris?
Double top.
Yep. And do you see?
No, I think you're spot on.
Yeah. I tested this today on one of the trades I did and profited from it. No. I take that back. No. I marked up last night. I marked up, I forgot which currency it was. And I predicted price was still in the uptrend. It didn't even break the trend. No, I take that back. It was close to breaking the trend and it was retesting. I woke up the next morning, that thing went into a strong sell and it was still going with the Lux indicator on. That thing was in some crazy bears. You saw the black bear, you saw the grizzly bear, you saw the polar bear, koala bear. That thing, I'm telling you something, probably on the smallest lot size, you probably would have copped $20 to $30 if you had held that thing. So that's the reason why on the training website, I put all these patterns here, all these continuation patterns, because this is really the key to understanding where the market is going to go and is actually going to give you more confidence to actually hold a trade. Because sometimes most traders get scared of holding the trade because they're thinking, man, you know, it's going into a downtrend, it's going here, but it's going up. Well, what we have to understand is in the market, whether you're in an uptrend or a downtrend, a healthy trend is going to go up and down, up and down, up and down. But as long as you're in the uptrend and you understand who's mostly buying in the market, and of course, if you buy at the swing or the pullback, you're good to go. That's the key. You don't want to buy in here. You don't want to buy up there. Definitely don't want to buy up here. You want to buy here. You want to sell up here. And if you have confirmation that it's going to stay in the sell, especially if your indicator supports that your analysis and confirmation, it gives you more confidence to hold that trade instead of pulling out when you look at your phone and you see, hey, you're negative 100 because you have a big lot size, but really in reality, that thing is about to reverse. And when it drops, now you profiting 200. You get what I'm saying? So that's one of the things I do when I'm analyzing the market. I had to really understand what the patterns are. Now, here's another tip, and then I'm gonna let Chris put in his spill or let you guys talk. The other thing I do as well, this is another indicator that Damon told me about. This is something you definitely want to utilize. Here's why. Whenever you see these lines here, that's support and resistance. All right. These lines let you know that this is where you want to start your trade because it's about to go into a buy. But, and the farther away these dots are from the price, the stronger the trend. Now, keep in mind, this is still the downtrend in this retesting. But the reason why the lines are forming a buy is because you had a couple of buy candles in here. But what I guarantee you is going to happen is once they start going into a downtrend, there's going to be a couple of dots that's going to form at the top right here. And it's going to start to go down. And it's letting you know, hey, it was in a buy and a retest, but now the market is about to reverse and go into a sell. These support and resistance here and all these dots here, this is where the banks are trading. And this is what Damon told me. So this is another indicator that you can actually implement. And it's called the parabolic SAR. That's another thing. Now, another thing that helps me too, and what I do is, of course, this we'll tell you about the Lux indicator maybe another time where Chris can go into it. This is the indicator we've been testing. But what I do is I kind of turn on the candles here. Understanding the candles and what they're doing is very important. So as you can see here, it said that it's doing a bearish engulfing, and it did it right. Try to zoom this in. It did it right here, right? So when it's bearish engulfing, it's funny when I have to keep on doing this. I get these texts. Got a text from Shanice. So bearish engulfing, right? So let's see what that means. So we're going to go to Forex and the candlesticks. These are different candlesticks that you can look at. This is on the training website. So they're talking about bearish engulfing, right? Let's see what bearish engulfing means. So bearish engulfing basically means If it's at the top of a downtrend, I mean, if it's at the top of an uptrend, which it is, right? This is the top of an uptrend. Wouldn't you guys agree? Because there's a support, resistance. All right. So when it says bearish engulfing, then what that means is that the bulls is losing its power and the bears are taking control. And as you can see, the bulls, Red Bull, whatever his name is, the Red Bull drink lost his buying power here. Now the bears are starting to take control. So now you see this here is forming a very strong wick. And I guarantee you this is probably the inverted hammer. So let me see if that's the case. No, actually it looks like the shooting star. Might be the shooting star, or it might be the inverted hammer. But if it's the shooting star, no, it might be the shooting star or it might be that other hammer. But this might be an indication here that it's about to cultivate strong bulls and go down. But the fact that it retested and it went down, that's further confirmation that it's going into bears. So that's one of the things that I do. This indicator here that says candles, that is candlesticks patterns identified. Now, I'm going to go ahead and show you the indicator that me and Chris have been checking out, and it's the Lux V27 indicator. So when we turn this on, based off of Chris's analysis, his analysis was correct. And my analysis was correct. So like I said, this is the double top, right? So remember, we said that there's a huge chance that the market is going to shoot down, correct? Well, guess what the indicator is saying? It's saying that it's going to go into a strong sell. Look at the volatility, look at the trend, look at who's in control, the bears by 2%, and it lays out the stop loss and the take profit for you. So if Chris decides to jump into this sell trade, when the market opens up, he's probably going to cash in some big bucks. So his analysis was very, very good. He marked it up great. Do you guys have any other thoughts?
Yeah, I like the way you really marked that up real quick and pointed out analysis too on that. I also saw something that I would like to share as well. I actually see a channel on the 1 hour that also gives you a strong signal to sell.
On GU?
If I yeah, on GU. If I could,
are you able to share your screen?
I'll be able to show you. Let me see. Hold on.
I enabled multiple sharing, so see if you can share your screen. Okay. While you do that, I'm gonna answer.
Should be good now. Y'all can see this, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. I saw this on the 1 hour. I just wanted to point this out real quick. I think I had it right here.
Oh, that was a nice trend line markup, bro.
I saw this for a second, just like this. Okay. Like this.
Which tool is that? I need to use that. How you tool out the trend line and then it goes up. Which tool is that?
This is the parallel channel. And when you use it,
Okay. So it's over there with the trend line and everything. Okay, I'm gonna use that.
Okay. So it's over there with the trend line and everything. Okay, I'm gonna use that.
Yeah, them trend lines come in handy. I forgot all about that. That's another good thing you're doing as far as using.
You sound a little low. I couldn't hear you for a second.
You sound a little low. I couldn't hear you for a second.
Okay, my bad. I'm in my car now.
I don't know if it's just me. I'm getting a lot of feedback or
I don't know if
delay.
it's just me. I'm getting a lot of feedback.
Yeah. Let me mute myself.
But yeah, anyway, I saw this and yeah, based off of this, I would also say from what I'm seeing, broke this channel, which was to the upside, and now it's pretty much looking like a right at this support line here. So just wanted to point that out real quick. Let's see, UJ. Let's do this one real quick. Like this. That one. This one here. Yeah, this one. Let's see. Definitely a double bottom here. Push this all the way up. And, oh, what are your thoughts on UJ right now?
Um, yeah, UJ probably might. When the market opens up, you probably might end up getting some good sells from it because when you even look at the pattern, um, even the higher, even the most recent high is lower than the previous one. Um, there's a possibility you might get a couple of good scalping sells out of it possibly before it decides to go back up again, maybe.
Right.
So you can eat good off of UJ. UJ, make sure you get paid. I'm telling you.
Yeah. It's funny because I almost see structure break with the lower high.
I think my internet is starting to
Not
act up
really
again.
confirming it's penny.
That's a good markup.
Yeah, this isn't even. I would go a lot more thorough than this, but I just wanted to. I don't know, just click on this pair.
Now, actually, when I
And
look at the pattern,
you see what I mean?
no, actually, the way I'm looking at the pattern, that thing might actually jump up. Yeah, that thing might be jumping up. I had to graph it myself and see. It
Yeah.
might be that one pattern, maybe. I have to see what pattern that is, but yeah, keep on going. Hopefully my internet don't act a fool.
Okay.
But I'm gonna have to be in the bed by soon, cause
Yeah. I don't want to hold you guys up too much.
no, you're fine.
Hey, Paul, you still recording?
Let's see something.
I can't hear you, Chris. I can't hear you, Chris.
I don't know why my audio is acting up.
Oh. Do you want me to call you? You want me to call you?
No, you're good. You're good.
Okay.
I'm getting mixed signals from this currently. I would definitely have to wait and see what it's doing personally.
Yeah.
Because it's almost, let's see.
It looks like that
15
one
minutes.
pattern. Let's see which pattern that is, but and see, and yeah, and that's the reason why I'm starting to think it's going up, because now that you drew that trend line, it broke that trend line, that red trend line you just formed, and it created another high, and then another high.
Right.
Now it's hitting on support.
Yeah.
Question is,
Yeah.
is it
And
a reversal pattern or is it a continuation pattern? Which
right.
it might be a reversal one, might be, but I don't know.
Yeah. And part of what I'm doing, if I need a little bit more confluence at or what could happen, I'll throw on the pivots classic and just double check just to make sure
Oh yeah.
like a major pivot and possibly testing or you know.
Oh yeah,
So,
yeah. The pivot point is key, man.
What's that SMA? Yeah, look at where price is on the SMA too.
Yeah.
Right on.
Yeah, and see, and that's the reason why I'm thinking it's starting to go up, because I figured it was going to be above that SMA. Because when it broke that trend line, it broke the 50 line. Yeah.
And we could easily see this happen right back to this key level, possibly back down. This is a wait and see. It's not solid. Anyway, I'll leave that alone for now. Just wanted to point something out This was up before we got on live just now for Ethereum USD. Or no, Ethereum BTC, my bad.
Yeah, the Bitcoin. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And I have it in a downtrend channel, which is very nice. Respected it plenty of times. Distance line, touching here, here, a little bit here, here. Look at that, head and shoulders right there. Test, drop. We had a little bit of a jump out here, so I drew like a extend trend line. And that fell, came back into the channel, and went a little crazy on this, I'm not gonna lie. In depth.
Yeah, that's actually a good markup.
Thank you. I saw I pulled out a fib down here on 15 minutes. I usually do it on a higher time frame, but I was just what was going to happen next potentially. And I saw this right at the top of this swing down to the bottom.
Yep.
Lowest point up to the retracement at 61. And I made this a whole big zone, anywhere from 50 to, it'll do that pretty well if it's going back down. And look at this huge bearish engulfing. And I think we might maintain a drop possibly down to the 27 on the fib or the 61. So I have this zone here, which would have been take
Oh, you drew the
profit
fibs
and
nice.
into a sell. Thank you.
Hey, Chris,
And
you see
that's
that
what
fib markup he did?
I'm very technical, man. I just like to kind of see what can, um, what I'm looking for combined. Just I like to see everything if possible.
Oh, yeah.
But,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, we'll probably see if it wants to start reversing. I mean, we've been in a downtrend for quite a bit. I look back and it was started last week up here. This was August 14th.
Mm-hmm.
We've just been going down, you know?
Yeah, that's a lot of bears to keep on top of.
Uh-huh. This was a key level. It might start reversing here. But it could just go right back up. We might get, I don't know, double. This bear candle might continue down. Maybe we'll stop here and start reversing. Who knows? But this looked very good for a sell. And I was actually looking at this before we zoomed, waiting for some bearish price action to come through. And this tweezer top kind of did it. And then this shooting stars also sitting there. And a bearish engulfing.
Yeah. Might have to see how that'll play out. Maybe wait for the next couple of candles for that one. Because Bitcoin runs 7 days a week, so you can keep on looking at that. But of course, currency, you have to wait until, the market opens. But yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely missed it, I think. I think the entry really would have been somewhere up here. Just because I know that retracement zone is so strong, and the fact that it still broke, like it didn't break through, it rejected off. I probably would have went in for a sell when I saw the bearish price action. But that's all I wanted to share for now. I know it's late.
Hey, good markup.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, well, I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording. I'm going to definitely post this on YouTube. That way we can always look at this. I think this is going to help our team as well. Then we can take it from there. So I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording.